So the timber finally arrived on my doorstep, and now ready with all my tools to start the process.
Seriously. The planes. The plane. So all of the initial timber for the outer frame has arrived, and I am actually cutting it now using my circular saw in all the right lengths. I thought it would be a good idea first to actually cut all the pieces I need and then start putting them together. And wind just picked up. So with my calculation, it looks like there won't be any sort of leftover timber. So all the parts, even the offcuts, are sort of cut to size so they will actually fit and be useful, so there's minimal wastage of timber. And once I've done the external frame, then I'll be putting the roof so that and make it all waterproof or moisture proof at least, and then I'll be working on the internals.
And off to work I go, measuring it twice, cutting it once. With my newly purchased circular saw, did a fantastic job. Having my CAD drawing telling me all of the sizes I need for all the different pieces that need to go, it was quite useful. Not many mistakes. It was lots of hard work measuring it and cutting, making sure they were all correct. For external wall frames, I used 90 by 45 millimeter timber. This would give me quite a good strength for the outside and enough room between the timber studs for my installation. My wall height would be 2.3 meters high. So to save some money, I got 4.8 meter length timbers, which were much cheaper than the 2.4 meter length, and then able to cut it in half and at the right size as well.
I've got most of my stud timber, and I thought I have a quick trial of one of the walls. This is the back of the wall, and I just laid them out to see if my measurements are correct. They are 600 millimeters to the center in the studs between those 2 points, and it's about 2.3 meters from the top to the bottom and so on. So I will try to nail this on and see how it goes. I'll be nailing at the bottom parts and then be screwing all the bits, the sort of the in between that actually go to keep it steady. Because I was informed that nailing it is better than screwing it, because nails can bend, so that will look after any friction. But screws will actually, when you bend, it will break. So it's better off to put nails to all the bottoms, but it will actually have screws for the rest of it, because they'll be fine.
And of course, being so excited, I completely forgot about sun protection. I have no hat, no sunglasses, and no sunscreen. But it was fun. The excitement was really there. I was planning to purchase a nail gun, which would make it really easy, so click clack and they'll be all nailed rather than hammering them in. But for the price of $500 to $600, I said I'll use my elbow grease. Throughout the whole process, I only managed to hit my finger just once. Ouch. and the first external wall frame was finally done. Throughout the planning process, I did watch lots of YouTube videos on construction of sheds and the like, and learned a lot of techniques of how to measure all the studs, what sort of angles and what sort of sizes and all the rest of the things that are required to make a really stable and solid shed to be built. Of course, using and following my CAD drawing make it much easier and less mistakes along the way. I hardly made any mistakes. Of course, having a concrete slab made the job much easier as well. It meant I had a flat surface to work on, and everything just fit in correctly. I always made sure that all the measurements added up and they were according to my CAD drawings. When nailing the top and the bottom plates to the studs, I made sure that the nails were about 1 or 2 degrees to the right or to the left, rather than just straight in. By the time I reached my second frame, I was already getting up to speed. By now the sun had already got me, and I was getting really tired and exhausted. But I was determined to finish the second frame as well. Day number 2, and I was a little bit smarter. Now I have a hat on to work, and I was getting much faster and faster because the process made it much easier because it was very similar. Because I'm still not sure of the doors that I'm going to be using for the external as well as the internal wall frames, I left enough gap for the doors to be fit in. I also didn't include the header section on top of the door, as I'm not sure the size of the door yet. This is because the doors need to be solid core doors as well as sealed. Going over and checking every nail point that I have done to make sure that we're all correct. Back to cutting more timber for the next frame. By end of the day, I was quite determined to finish off all of the external wall frames. Even though it was quite a windy day and everything was blowing everywhere. One thing I learned when watching construction videos on YouTube is checking the crown of each of the timbers. The crown is technically the bend of the timber, the direction of the bend, making sure that they all go at the same direction. And while I was doing that, I actually discovered someone was watching me. Hello, Mr. Blue Tongue. And I'm back to completing the frame. And by the end of day 2, I actually managed to complete all of the external frame structures. Once all of the frames were complete, a few days later, I was actually able to stand them up as a trial into a corner to make sure that I've got everything correct. Of course, I had to remove it back again. So that's what the structures look like. Till next time, as always, cheerio.